Tonight at 5, what the vice president had to say when asked about Wisconsin farmers hurting under the Trump administration.
Plus, how most voters say they feel about data centers as we see more proposals popping up around southern Wisconsin.
And what we know about a crash outside 2 schools earlier today. We'll share all the information police have shared just ahead.
You're watching News 3 now at 5.
And good evening. Thanks for staying with us. We are about 8 months from the midterms, and members of the Trump administration already have their eyes on swing state Wisconsin.
Today, Vice President J.D. Vance spoke at Point Precision in Plover. Our Sarah Carlson is here now with what the vice president had to say today. Sarah?
Hi, Susan and Eric. The vice president threw his support behind Congressman Derek Van Orden. He's up for re-election in the state's 3rd district, and also Republican gubernatorial candidate Congressman Tom Tiffany. Beyond that, the vice president's speech focused on the top concern for most Wisconsin voters, the economy. A common theme throughout his remarks was fraud, and we heard that theme in his response to why the White House has sought information about Wisconsin voters and SNAP recipients, as well as his answer to how the White House will help struggling farmers.
Why would the government of Wisconsin not want to help us kick fraud off of the welfare rolls and kick fraud off of the voter rolls? And the only answer I can possibly come up with is because they like to cheat. If you have countries that are able to come in and undercut the wages of our workers, but we're not able to export their product, ladies and gentlemen, that is not trade, that is international fraud.
Vance's comments on the economy come one day after a poll found that 55% of registered voters in Wisconsin believe the president's tariffs have hurt the state's farmers. Susan and Eric?
Sarah, thank you. We also got a response from Wisconsin Democratic U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin ahead of the vice president's speech. She criticized the very policies that Vice President Vance said will ultimately help the state.
And here in Wisconsin, those policies have decimated families and farmers alike. For farmers, these tariffs have shrunk export markets and have squeezed already very, very thin margins.
News 3 Now will continue to follow the midterms to bring you updates on the White House's focus on Wisconsin over the air and online at channel3000.com, and also to receive notifications directly to your phone with all the latest election news. Download the free Channel 3000 mobile app.
Let's turn now to your first warn forecast. Nice and sunny today, and it might feel like spring tomorrow.
Yeah, one of those breezy days. Chief Meteorologist Alex Arrington with a look now at our first warn forecast. Alex?
Breezy indeed. Spring tomorrow. Winter by Saturday. Have to break it to you straight there. Highs in the 50s on Friday, and then we replace that with light snow as we head into Saturday. And first, to let you know, mid to late next week looks much wetter than normal, much wetter than average. So it looks like some rain is on the way, and quite a bit of it. But first, we got to get through the spring-like conditions and the winter weather. And our forecast temperatures tonight in the 20s, well into the 20s. Average low is 19, so we're still above average temperature-wise. And here we go. Friday ranging from 50 in Camp Douglas to 55 to 60 in areas just south and east of Madison. Get a little extra sun. We might all be in the upper 50s on Friday. And breezy too, gusting at times 30 to 35 miles per hour, especially on the backside of a cold front that comes through Friday night. And the winds will be out of the northwest. And when winds come out of the northwest, that means colder temperatures as we head into Saturday. First, to let you know again, this weather system that we've been tracking for a few days looks to eye up southern Wisconsin Saturday morning through Saturday afternoon with light snow. And I want to emphasize light snow of 1 to 3 inches. When I come back, we will track that weather system from the start, the middle, and the end, and give you a projection of where that 1 to 3 inches of snow will line up in southern Wisconsin. That's coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Alex, thank you. A pedestrian was hurt after a crash this morning on Madison's west side. It was near Toki Middle School and Orchard Ridge Elementary. Crews responded to Russet Road at about 8:30 in the morning. The pedestrian was taken to the hospital for injuries. News 3 Now is still working to determine whether the victim was a student or not. Police have not been able to confirm the condition of the injured person. Also,
now the Warner Dog Park back open today after being closed for more than a week. The city's Parks Department shut down the park after a dog that visited there got sick and died. The Parks Department says it was just a precaution until they got results back on the dog's cause of death. Now, the department says the results showed no sign of toxicity or a significant underlying contagious disease.
Now to continuing coverage of an incident at Madison East High School. Police are confirming they are investigating after a mother said a staff member fed her autistic nonverbal son dog food. News 3 Now first reported this story on Monday. Police say the students' parents told them about the incident on Tuesday. The school district confirmed to us yesterday the teacher involved in the alleged incident is on leave. The department's special victims unit is investigating, and that is in addition to the internal investigation the school district is conducting.
An Iowa County woman is charged for allegedly killing her estranged husband. Prosecutors charged Kelly Neckash in court with 1 count of first-degree intentional homicide. This stems from the death of 62-year-old Todd Neckash at his Ridgeway home February 11th. Deputies found him dead about 11:20 the next morning. The next court date for Kelly Neckash is March 6th.
New information from a statewide survey shows the vast majority of Wisconsin voters are wary about data centers. That's from a Marquette Law School poll released Wednesday. It showed 70% of voters think the costs of data centers outweigh the benefits. Compare that to the last time that question was asked in October, and you see a 15% jump. And while Republicans' opinions on data centers remain mostly unchanged, opposition has surged among independents and Democrats.
It's a big partisan gap, even though most Republicans, too, are opposed to it. I think the message to the proponents of data centers is they have an awful lot of messaging yet to do to convince voters that these are a good idea.
Poll director Charles Franklin says he expects data centers to be a big issue in the crowded Democratic primaries. See more from his breakdown of the poll this Sunday at 10:30 on For the Record.
A group of local nonprofits and developers are at odds with UW-Madison over housing. UW says student housing is filled beyond capacity, but a new study found with current student housing from UW and private landlords, there are enough beds, I should say, for undergrads at UW-Madison. This includes housing projects that are in the works through the year 2029.
When these additional projects that are in the works, under construction now, or in the planning process are finished and open, there will be a great many additional beds for students, and that will considerably lower the pressure on them and the feeling that they've got to move fast or they're out of luck.
Later tonight, Tanasia Shaw shares what students think and the UW's response. That's tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
The Madison Common Council approved more than $6 million for home ownership programs at its meeting this week. The city says in total, the proposals receiving that money will create 29 new affordable owner-occupied homes and fund 5 home ownership service programs. The council also signed off on making 10 vacant city-owned lots in the Owl Creek neighborhood available to support the creation of those new homes. The city says the goal is to help people who make less than the area's median income.
Still to come at 5, Madison Center for Black Excellence will open in just a few months.
Kyrion Lee tells us what it took to get here and what the center will offer.
Plus warm on Friday, but as you heard Alex say, maybe some snow over the weekend. He'll be back to tell us what the First Warn Weather Team is tracking in your full forecast.
And later, why Ford is recalling more than 4 million vehicles and how to know if yours is affected.
On Wall Street today, mixed results. The Dow ticking up 17 points. The Nasdaq tumbles almost 274. S&P 500 loses 37. And we'll be right back.
Well, a dream more than 4 decades in the making is now complete on Madison's South Side.
Located at 671 West Badger Road, the Center for Black Excellence in Culture is set to open in May. News 3 Now's Kyrion Lee introduces us to the community leader behind the vision.
Dr. Alex G's vision is now coming to life at the Center for Black Excellence and Culture, located just steps away from Fountain of Life Church, where Dr. G has served as senior pastor for nearly 4 decades. What's inside the center is still mostly under wraps until grand opening day, when the community can experience it together.
And let joy be our hallmark.
The South Side of Madison isn't just where Dr. G leads.
Heavenly Father, we are grateful this morning.
It's where he grew up.
I lived, played, delivered newspapers across the street,
This community is a part of me.
The vision for the Center for Black Excellence and Culture began long before construction crews ever broke ground.
When I was a teenager, I had this sense, whether it's a premonition or some insight, that I was going to be part of something really powerful on the south side of Madison that would be on a hill that would get the attention of the full community.
And for decades, that premonition stayed with him.
Kept me from leaving Madison, though I tried many times before college, after college, but a sense that I was going to be part of something significant in the community caused me to stay here all these years.
In 2012, the land once home to a car wash was secured.
We started thinking about what would it look like to build a space that would help the Black community to flourish.
The public has seen these renderings of what the building would look like, but Dr. G says it doesn't compare to what you actually feel when walking inside.
I'm rendered speechless. I walk in this place, it feels like Christmas every day.
Inside the 37,500 square foot center will be theaters, art galleries, recording studios, classrooms, and intergenerational spaces designed to bring people from young to old together.
Oh my goodness, yes, yes.
But it's also about economic opportunity.
We will have space for innovation and leadership development where we will groom, mentor, train, and help to develop Black entrepreneurs and help Black artists turn their art into business, podcasts into business.
For Dr. G, this building represents something deeper than programming.
The mission is really to help the Black community in Wisconsin thrive by having a place that tells our story.
A story he says too often is reduced to struggle.
People think that Black culture is slavery and chains and survival and the transatlantic slave trade, but it's about innovation and it's about storytelling.
And the vision is already reaching far beyond Madison. Leaders from other cities are watching closely.
We're being pegged as a regional space for having conferences and gatherings and for convening people to talk about music, theology, culture, history.
And he says he hopes it sets a national standard.
We're living in a time where Black people and others are asking, will our history be documented? Will our accomplishments be documented? That makes spaces like the Center for Black Excellence and Culture even more important.
It's very exciting. The grand opening is set for Wednesday, May 6th, with a ribbon cutting and community open house. And more details will be revealed in the weeks to come.
A beautiful building going up there. Dr. G says the building itself is fully paid for. They are still raising money for programming.
A very nice Thursday out there today. Warmer even than today, tomorrow. And then reality sets in.
Alex would rather not share that weekend forecast.
Let's just stop on Friday.
Yeah, some folks may not want that blast of winter on Saturday, but I do want to throw out there we are dealing with moderate drought conditions across a good portion of southwest Wisconsin. We'll take any form of water that we can get, whether it's snow or rain. And I got plenty of rain in the forecast as well after the tale of two seasons, spring tomorrow, winter on Saturday. Let's jump right into things here. The temperatures that we'll experience tomorrow, low to mid 50s. We could do upper 50s in some parts of southern Wisconsin, but it will be accompanied with a small price to pay, which is not uncommon as we go out of winter into spring. The wind. Yep, the wind is going to return, gusting at times 25 to 30 miles per hour out of the southwest during the day. Then as we go into the nighttime, the winds switch and they come out of the north and out of the west. And that's going to usher in the colder temperatures that you're going to experience as we head into Saturday. Those colder temperatures, cold enough for snow. So let's get ahead of the next weather maker, bringing us 1 to 3 inches of snow. At this point in time, I'm not expecting this to be a significant snow for southern Wisconsin, but just enough to remind us that it is still winter. We could still have a couple of slick spots, and the timing of this is Saturday morning through Saturday afternoon. A wider view shows the snow breaking out in Iowa and southern Minnesota, and then moving across southern Wisconsin very quickly during the daytime on Saturday. Areas across far northern Wisconsin may not see anything at all. And just going a little bit further out into the future, Sunday afternoon, evening, going into early Monday, you see snow just south of Des Moines, south of Iowa City, south of central Illinois. Another weather maker likely going to slip to the south and cause heavier snow over portions of the Ohio River Valley. Doesn't look like that's going to make it this far north. north at this point in time. But closer to home here, Saturday, 8 o'clock west of Madison, snow breaking out, light snow at its peak, let's say between noon and the mid-afternoon hours of Saturday, and then it's out of here by the time we get into Saturday night. Just enough to cause a few slick spots. Again, expecting 1 to 2 inches widespread across southern Wisconsin, maybe an isolated 3-inch amount. Could have a little bit of toggling with this track, as with any winter event as well, but looking at a widespread chance of an inch or 2 in southern Wisconsin, maybe an isolated 3-inch amount. Those current temperatures out there right now, 40 degrees, average high is 35, so we're a few degrees above that normal high temperature, that average high for this time of year, and lows tonight will get down into the mid-20s, average low 19. So we're going to be warmer than normal tonight, warmer than average. Take a look at this forecast. Once we get through the 29s on Saturday and Sunday, we're back into the 40s to the lower 50s. Next week, as we go out into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe even into the early part of the following week, the weather pattern looks like it's going to turn warmer than normal and wetter than normal in southern Wisconsin and much of the east half of the United States. Now, speaking of weather, what about severe weather? Come join me and some of our other weather friends at Madison College from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. This is free parking, open to the public. You can scan that QR code in the lower left-hand part of that screen if you'd like more information on the lineup of events. But guess what? We've got a nice lineup of discussions and talks about severe weather, but also the National Weather Service rather is going to be there, and they're going to conduct free storm spotter training. So come join me and our weather friends in the local southern Wisconsin community as we continue to get you ready for severe weather season. And if you didn't catch our severe weather ready special last night at 6:30, it is right on channel3000.com and also on our weather page on channel3000.com. And getting ahead of an umbrella contest as we move into severe weather season, March 2nd through March 6th, get your favorite weather photo and send it to channel3000.com/contest. I'm just getting you ahead of the umbrella contest. Next week, we will be mentioning this daily throughout our weathercasts, and you can potentially win a umbrella that has a fun little saying on there that those storms don't scare me, because the First Run Weather Team, we got you covered with the best severe weather coverage in town, I think. So more on the umbrella contest coming up as we go out into next week. So start looking for your favorite weather photo right now.
I was going to ask you if that slogan was on the actual umbrella.
It's going to be on that.
That's pretty cool.
It's going to be on that umbrella.
Storms do scare me, though, however. Alex, thank you. Nominations are officially open on channel3000.com for the Spirit of Service 2026.
News 3 Now and Vortex Optics are once again teaming up to recognize veterans who continue to serve their communities long after their time in uniform. Nominate a deserving veteran by sharing their story online at channel3000.com by March 22nd. Vortex will narrow down the nominations to a final 5. We'll share their stories, and then you'll get a chance to vote for your favorite. A winner will be chosen and announced April 15th.
Still to come at 5, the new feature that Instagram is introducing in an effort to help parents keep their teens safe on the app.
Stay with us. News 3 Now at 5. We'll be right back.
News 3 Now at 5. Moving forward.
Instagram will start alerting you if your teenager uses the app to search for content related to suicide or self-harm. The new feature launches next week. Parents who use Instagram's supervision tools will get the alert to their app, and it will also come over email, text, or on WhatsApp, depending on what contact information is available. It is the latest effort by Meta to strengthen safety features as it faces heat over how social media impacts young people.
A Columbia University student is out of immigration enforcement custody after the school said agents used false pretenses to detain her. Students rallied after ICE took the student from her residence earlier today. Homeland Security agents had said they needed to enter her building, which the university owns, to look for a missing person. Upon entry, agents arrested the student, who is from Azerbaijan. DHS has not commented on whether agents entered the residence under false pretenses, but says the student's visa was terminated back in 2016.
Tomorrow, former President Bill Clinton will give a deposition before a House committee in connection to the Jeffrey Epstein files. It follows the former president's deposition will follow his wife's. former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. She gave her deposition behind closed doors today in New York, where lawmakers grilled her on the convicted sex offender and his accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. The chair of the committee, Republican Representative James Comer, gave an idea of what some of those questions looked like.
No one's accusing at this moment the Clintons of any wrongdoing. They're going to have due process, but we have a lot of questions. How was he able to surround himself with some of the most powerful men in the world? Was he an asset for our government or any other government?
In her written opening statement, Clinton said that she had no idea about the pair's criminal activities and can't recall ever meeting Epstein. She also accused the committee of trying to distract from President Trump's actions. Recent reporting suggests several interviews related to child sexual assault accusations against Trump are missing from the DOJ's Epstein files release.
Nuclear talks between the U.S. and Iran will continue next week after President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff met with a mediator today. Despite reports of significant progress, Iran's foreign minister says his country will be prepared for the worst possible outcome.
Since the Americans' bases are scattered to different places in the region, then unfortunately perhaps the whole region would be engaged and would be involved.
On this, as the U.S. sent another aircraft carrier to the region as part of the Trump administration's massive military buildup there.
Now to a recall alert. Ford is recalling more than 4 million pickup trucks and SUVs because of a software error that can cause the brakes and lights to fail. Ford says about 1% of affected vehicles have these problems. Ford is not aware of any accidents or injuries due to the problem. To find out if your car is part of this recall, head to nhtsa.gov/recalls and enter your vehicle identification number.
Stay with us. Alex will take a final check of your first warn forecast after a short break. Coming up tonight at 6, is there enough housing for UW-Madison students? Always a big question. Property managers and developers think so. The new report they're citing, while the university says that is not the whole story. That's at 6.
Alex is here now with a final check of the forecast, and it's going to feel like spring tomorrow.
Yeah, spring tomorrow.
Winter.
Winter on
Saturday. Just kidding.
Yeah, just kidding. 54 for high temperatures on Friday, and then 1 to 3 inches of snow on Saturday.
Oh, man.
We're used to it.
It'll melt next week.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks for watching at 5, everybody.